So these are our QCL mentors. We call them mentors. This is my assistant director, Vaban Mistry, and this is me, a year younger than now. We have about 30 mentors at the QCL. They help the students, their peer students, through their mentoring, tutoring on the computational topics, mathematics, statistics, and so on. I will just introduce a little bit more about the services, each of them. And we have basically 4 main services for the community: mentoring, training, consulting, and the data science capstone. I will probably ask your help for the data science capstone at the end. I will introduce what the data science capstone is anyway. So the first one, mentoring. So it is our main service for the students. It's one-on-one and small group tutoring, mentoring services. We have, course mentors, and for the mathematics, statistics, and for example, math, computer science, econ, psychology, philosophy, biology, and physics. We all cover these topics, courses through this one-on-one and small group mentoring. And for the training services, we run 2 workshops every week, two 2-hour workshops. One workshop is 2 hour long. We have level 1 and level 2 workshops. Level 1 is usually basic, all the introduction to, to use the new tools. Level 2 is for applications, like if it is for R programming, then level 1 is the basic intro, like today's workshop. Level 2 is going to be something like data wrangling using R, something like that. So we cover a lot of tools: Excel, R, Python, SQL, Stata, Tableau, MATLAB, etc. And the service we do for the community, the staff, faculty, and students, are the consulting. So if for the students writing thesis, we meet with them one-on-one and help them to use the tools and something like that, data wrangling tools, visualization tools, Tableau, R, Python, and so on. The QCL has some high performance computing resources too. You've probably not heard from anyone else at CMC before, but we do have supercomputer time for the faculty and students running really hard, compute intensive applications. We also have a GPU machine for machine learning and AI research. We do have cloud computing support, AWS, IBM, and Google. The last one that I wanted to show you is the data science capstone program that I direct for. This is the 4th semester. So data science capstone program is a industry academia partnership program for data science major and sequence students. CMC introduced the data science sequence a couple of years ago, and now we have data science major. So we have about between 25 and 30 students every semester taking this capstone program. You probably maybe heard about the HEMC, Harvey Med Clinic. The capstone program modeled after the Harvey Med Clinic. So it is a group-based, project-based course. And the students work directly with industry liaisons on client data projects. It is a final requirement course for data science major and sequence. So every semester we run about 6 to 7 industry projects for 25 to 30 students. As you see on the left side, these are our clients so far for data science capstone. LA Dodgers, unfortunately, they couldn't, make it to the end of the series. But we have data science. Well, we have Dodgers for our data science clients, and NBC Universal is our new clients this semester. We have Avo, which is a company for internet brands. We also have public sector clients, City of Ontario, East Valley Water District, and City of Sierra Madre. Also, we have some local and global businesses as our clients. So, alumni, you hear, parents, we are looking for our capstone clients every semester. So if you are interested in working with our students, contact me for more information. My email, jeho.park, my first name dot last name @cmc.edu. And you can also look at our website and Instagram and the Facebook. All right, so that's about the QCL. Any questions about the QCL? No? All right. No more questions. No questions. Okay, good. Let me share my screen again for the actual workshop. Let's see if I can close this down. All right, I'm going to share my screen. The sharing sound. Again, I will share my desktop because I'm going to use two application windows. One, RStudio Cloud. So today's workshop is about R programming. RStudio Cloud. I hope you had created the RStudio Cloud account, and now it's time to log in to rstudio.cloud and log into your account while I'm talking about the basic plan for today's workshop. Okay, and I'm also going to use the desktop version of this RStudio as well. Okay. A question before I go ahead and start my workshop. Anyone in the audience have used programming languages before? Can I see your hands up? You can use your, all right. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. All right. So rest of you haven't had use. Okay, about 7 out of how many? Out of 19. All right. So good, good. If you have used any programming languages, have you used R before? All right, Dean. A little bit, Christine, Alice. Okay, okay. So Dean, Christian, and Alice, this workshop probably a little bit easy for you because the target audience for this L1, we call it level 1 workshop, is the real beginners. So I will go through the real basic information about this R programming, including the main. Any questions, Dean?
Yeah.
Yeah.
When is the level 2 class? Because I've already had quantitative statistics and all this with R.
Oh,
So
okay. Then the level 2 for the alumni, maybe I will have to work with Evan and Josh to find the time for all the alumni. So we'll get there then. So we'll announce it later. But I don't have the time and date yet.
okay, yeah, because I think for me, I've already had all of this, and
Mm-hmm.
it's we've used
Yeah.
Tidyverse a lot and going after the World
Okay.
Bank data courses. We've run it off of Excel. We've run it off of external databases, and different types of external modeling and so forth. So I don't want to waste your time. So
I see. I see. You are more higher than intermediate user, so this is going to be really too easy for you. Even for level 2 workshop, we do offer the level 2 workshop on Tidyverse. You know, the data wrangling using R, but maybe level 3 later, sometime in the spring. But we'll talk about it.
Well, I'll drop off,
Thank you.
and good luck, and I look forward to level 2 and 3.
Yes, thank you very much.
Thank you.
All right. Any questions so far? Anyone about the workshop? All right. So let me go ahead and start the workshop. All right. So as you see on my screen, this is my RStudio desktop application. I wanted you to use RStudio cloud version because it is easier to start. You don't have to install anything on your computer. And for our workshop, actual student and QCL workshop, we use the RStudio cloud as well. So let me start the slides. This is what you're looking at. What you're seeing is the RStudio slide that is rendered through using R Markdown. So some housekeeping stuff. The workshop files will be available through this sites. I'm going to type it in the chat. Okay, so if you open the websites, the GitHub web page, then you will see some information, the basic information about the workshop, and I will keep updating this GitHub page for the future workshop as well. So if you look at the view, you click on the view on GitHub. This is the files that you are going to download to your RStudio cloud environment. You don't have to do it right now, but I will show you shortly. And the QCL workshop participation. Well, this is for the students actually, but I will assume that you are my students, and I will use my teacher voice for you to learn something today. So I hope you can, interact with me throughout the workshop. So you can use your camera, show your attention, and you use your gestures as, if you're using your camera, you nod, thumbs up, raising your hands, your virtual hands, and things like that. I will keep asking you some questions. So you will be, interacting with me. Unmute yourself anytime to ask questions to me, or type it in the chat window so that Josh can stop me and get to the question point. All right, so this is the student learning objectives. After you finish this workshop today, you will be able to run RStudio on your computer, or you will be able to use RStudio cloud environment. The use of the RStudio project environment as well. And you will be able to create variables and check the variables from the environment pane inside the RStudio. And you should be able to run some of the R commands on console. What is console? We'll get to there. And directly from the editor window. You should be able to create a RStudio R notebook and use R code chunks. Some of the terms might be too new to you. Just we'll get to there soon. So after you finish this workshop, you will know what these are about. So you will install some new packages and you will load required packages. We'll be using built-in data sets, and we'll summarize data frames. We'll also import data files from your local folder or from the remote location, which is in the RStudio cloud. And we'll plot the histogram, basic, plots, histogram, box plot, and scatter plot. So for today's workshop are about 1.5 hours. It's a little bit challenging and ambitious, but I'm sure that you can follow through. So agenda, the big picture today is in two parts. Part one, the main focus of the part one is to set up your R computing environment so that you can, learn R and RStudio, R programming afterwards of this workshop. The second part is going to be working with data. As I told you, data science and the data-driven computing is big at CMC. So I will introduce the data sets, built-in data sets, and data import, data exploration, visualization, and we'll do some hands-on exercise. Okay, again, it's absolute beginner. It's for absolute beginner today. So if you don't understand what, some of the terms, don't worry about it. We'll get there. So let me start with this RStudio concept. The RStudio is integrated development environment. Have you heard about integrated development environment before? We call it IDE.
IDE.
Yes. Right,
Yay.
exactly. Stephen, thank you. Alice, thank you. Yeah, it is on IDE for R, the most famous IDE for R. These days, some, Python programmers, they also use Jupyter Notebook. R can be used with the Jupyter Notebook, but RStudio has a lot more features than Jupyter Notebook per se. So this is the integrated IDE. I've been using R for over 20 years. R is a programming language that is mature. Now, when I started using R 21, 22 years ago, there was no RStudio. When you install R, it installed a simple editor that you can just edit your R script from. But now you have this RStudio that has nice feature like this combination of GUI and CLI. What is GUI?
Graphical user interface.
Exactly. Thank you, Dan. What is CLI?
You tell me.
Anyone other than Dan? All right. It is command line interface.
Oh, of course.
Yes, the command line interface, right? The CLI. Well, these days, just regular computer users don't, necessarily use command line interface, but programmers and students learning computing, they should be able to use the command line interface. All right, so and RStudio is free. There's a commercial version too. It has some four main panes and multiple tabs per each pane. We'll get there looking at each of the different tabs. A good feature, a really useful feature of RStudio is that the integration with this version control system. What is version control system, by the way? Anyone? Have you heard about Git or SVM or something? Well, let me tell you. What do you do when you write a report? Thinking back when you were students, you write a report and submit the initial draft to your professor, and they got back to you with some comments, and you update it. Here's the version 1, version 2 file, version 3, ... and then got to the final file. But still, there's some comments and edits. So final, little tons of files at the end. To avoid that, we programmers use version control system. These days, the Google Docs and in box.com, they have this version control system concept, and not exactly the version control system, but it has the same concept, right? It has a different same file but different versions. The version control system, it records every change of your files, and with this local version control system and cloud version of version control system, which is GitHub, that I just showed you through the browser, you can work with multiple people on one file, and the version control system will keep track the changes of yours and someone else's and see if they are conflicting. So if you change the line 102 at the same time, someone else changed the line 102 and they wanted to merge that file, two files to their own versions to one, then the system knows that these two versions conflict. Something like that. This is really good feature. So with RStudio, essentially R is a programming language. So you work in a group environment and teamwork environment. So this version control feature is a good addition to the RStudio. IDE comes with the debugging, and the documentation is another good feature for using RStudio. So you are going to create a notebook today, and this is called Markdown. What is Markdown? Have you heard about Markdown before?
Is it similar to the Jupyter notebooks Markdown?
Jupyter, oh yes, Jupyter notebook has the cells. Each of the cells have different. This could be code cell, Markdown cell, and so on. So the Markdown, right? The Markdown. Well, have you heard about? Well, the web pages, right? Web pages is the file is HTML, right? The ML stands for markup language. So markup language is, once you look at the HTML code, the code itself, it has a lot of different tags like head, body, table tags. So all different different formatting of this page. The Markdown is a stripped down version of this HTML. You can think of it like that. So Markdown has a few handful tags for text formatting. So it is simple to use, get to the point. You focus on the contents rather than formatting. So it helps a lot for the programming as well as the documentation. So we'll go through the R Markdown 2 today. And you are looking at this file. This is the presentation file. So we'll also show you how you can create the presentation through RStudio today. Through RStudio. Okay, checkpoint 1. So let's check your environment. Everyone should be able to log into RStudio Cloud, or if you have used R and RStudio on your computer, you should be able to run RStudio desktop. Check your environment and let me know if you need more time. Good, thank you, Stephen. Let me know if you're done logging into RStudio Cloud. Good, Christine, thank you.
Hey, Dr. Park.
Yes.
So I registered for the cloud, RStudio Cloud, like 5 minutes before we started, and have not yet received that verification email. I do have RStudio, just the non-cloud version. Is that the desktop version? Is that okay to use?
That is okay. Are you using Mac or Windows?
Mac.
Mac is good. The reason why I want you to use the RStudio Cloud is that the Git, the version control backend.
Gotcha.
So Mac it usually come with the Git itself. So we'll try. We'll try.
Okay.
I'll cover that too. Anyone else who's having trouble logging in RStudio Cloud or right? Andy, thank you. Okay, you're done logging in. Show me your hands. Virtual hands or our actual hands. All right, good. Thank you. Renee, Logan, Mike. I don't see your hands. All right, Car, thank you. Ping, Alice, thank you. Logan, thank you. Christine, Justine, good. Lune, Mike, and Andy, Richard. Yeah, Richard, thank you. How about Renee, Anne, and Andy? So I just want to make sure that everyone is able to. Yeah. Thank you, Andy. Thank you. If you need any help, let me know right now. Okay. So checkpoint 1, good. All right. So I'm just going to start. All right. Start importing the project with you.
Hey, Jeho,
I'm going.
me
Yes.
I saw that Dan in the comments said he needed some help, and I just wanted to check with Carl, Ping, Logan, and Mike whether they are raising their hand to say that they are at the right spot, or whether they might need some a helping hand getting to the right spot.
Okay. Everyone who raised their hands, then you can just lower your hands if you're done logging in. All right, Dan, what is the challenge you're having right now? You're muted. Dan, you're muted. Sorry.
Yeah, sorry about that. So I'm in the desktop version of RStudio. I guess I can follow along as long as I load the same thing, the same library or packages that you all are.
That's right. Okay. Yeah, definitely. That's right. Okay. I'm going to open the RStudio Cloud, and then I will share on the chat window. I'm going to copy and paste this URL. So you will also, so everyone using RStudio Cloud as well as using the desktop version. First, RStudio Cloud audience. Click on this new project. There's a little chevron, down arrow chevron, and click on it, left click, and choose new project from Git repository. Choose this, and out at the window, the field, I will share the URL here. Let me share it here. Just click on the dot on side of this chat and copy something like this. So copy this URL and paste it into the field, the text field here. So, all right, just follow me on the screen and click OK. If you are having any trouble copying the URL and pasting it to the text field in the window, let me know. If you're using desktop version, can you see my mouse over the top left corner? There's a little chevron too. Okay, sorry. So that is not it. Go to the file window, file menu, and choose new project. The same thing. Yeah.
We do have a question from Richard as well.
Yes, Richard. Question?
I'm trying to. I use iPad, so I installed the things in the desktop. So I have to change everything to desktop, the Zoom, everything.
Oh, you're using iPad?
So yeah, but I'm trying to switch join using the desktop then.
Well, well, you can use iPad browser for RStudio Cloud. It's okay as long as you can, you're okay with this small screen. But if you can switch it to desktop, that will help you a little bit more, give you more real estate on your screen. But other than that, iPad should be okay in terms of the functionality. That's
Sure. Thanks.
okay.
I switched to the desktop then.
Okay, good. So let's all right, Ping, question.
Where did you get that the popped up window? I mean, I was there and I click on file and I didn't see any new project. If I click on the file,
Okay.
it says new file.
Okay, so you're using desktop version
Yes.
RStudio. All right. File. The first one is a new file. The second one is the new project.
But I didn't see that one. I only have new file and open file in new columns. Recent file.
Okay. Okay. Probably are you using Windows?
Yes.
Okay, might be the difference between Windows and Mac version. So don't you have any menu item that says new project?
No.
I have a Mac and I'm using the desktop version. I also don't see the new project.
No,
option.
it's edit, code, view, plots, session, build,
Okay.
debug,
Okay.
profile, tool, and help. I
And
didn't.
you how about RStudio Cloud? Have you created the RStudio Cloud account?
Where?
All right. So let me get back to the RStudio Cloud. Well, this is why I wanted you to use RStudio Cloud, because the environment, for Windows and Mac and the different version of RStudio, they're all different. So if you can now create a RStudio Cloud account, that will be the best, because for Windows version of the RStudio, you cannot really use the Git, the version control system. The reason why, because the Windows are not really, well, I shouldn't say, they don't come with the Git installed when you install the operating system.
Okay, I think
So
I'm in the same window as now as you showed us.
do you
Yes.
see this browser? I'm using
Yes.
Chrome. Anyone using Chrome RStudio Cloud here? Can I see your hand? Okay, 2, 4. Okay. There are a few. It's not using RStudio Cloud.
I think I'm using it. I saw that. Yeah, it's 3158752. Yeah, I think I'm using that. 315. Yeah, similar.
So this is the RStudio Cloud URL. You should go to RStudio Cloud and log into the RStudio Cloud. So this is RStudio Cloud is the same environment, RStudio environment as your desktop. So then a question for you. So do you see this file menu?
Yes.
And the new project?
Yes.
Okay.
No.
Good.
Okay, hold on.
So if you're using RStudio Cloud, the cloud through the browser, you don't have file, things like that. So let me go back. So if you're using RStudio Cloud, this is my RStudio Cloud. Do you see this new project? Go to your workspace. You see this new project? And click on this chevron. And choose new project from Git repository. And it will give you a window for this text field. And you are going to copy and paste this text here on the chat.
Yeah, it's automatically shown that link. So I just click on that.
All right, click OK. Good. Then you see deploying project. Everyone who's done here. Yes, that's good. That's it. So what it does on the background is that it downloads all the files from the Git repository that I have. I uploaded all the files for the workshop to the Git repository, and the RStudio Cloud is downloading every file to your environment. So I see this is your environment on the screen. All right, so good. And the files, you see 3 main panes here. Everyone, including RStudio Desktop. If you look at this right lower corner tabs here, files, and there are several files here from the, I want you to click on the file from the third one from the bottom. So it is R programming beginner online .rpress file.
Okay.
Click on it. Thank you, Stephen. Carl, question.
Nope, I'm good. I have it up.
Good. Thank you.
Dr. Park, can you go back to what one uses for making the new project in the desktop version?
That's right. I was in the middle. So click on, do you see my screen? Sorry about that. And file, new project. This time you click version control.
Okay.
And choose Git.
Yep.
And it's a repository URL. This is the URL you paste it. And it gives you some name. You can change it later. Or you probably have different root directory. It's okay for now. And click on create project.
Open as a new session.
It doesn't matter, but yeah, you can click on open a new session. If you click on open a new session, then it will open another window other than the one that you're currently using.
And should it be create project as a subdirectory of and fill that in?
Yeah, wherever you set it to be the root directory, your user root directory is fine. Sometimes it's desktop, sometimes it's download folder. And you just, this is your own subdirectory.
There it is.
Does it download it? Good. That's why I love this GitHub thing. All right, so good. Yeah, and browser, let me go back. So that's why I'm using this, I'm sharing my whole desktop. See this one, let me make it smaller so that you can see my browser. This is my browser, right? And left side is my desktop. But anyway, now you all have this initial project for this workshop. Okay, I have a chat window. Right. That's right. There was a little bit of a confusion between the desktop version of the menu, choice, and the browser version, the RStudio Cloud version. I see that there's no new project menu here when you click on the file. All right, that's good to know. And so click on this RPress file and you will see the editor window pops up on the left side, upper left corner here in RStudio.
Yeah.
This is your editor, graphic editor, the text editor with all the syntax highlighted with different colors. And you see our presentations requires the neater package version 1.2 or higher, meaning that you don't have the package installed for your environment. It's okay for now. We're not going to use we are not going to render the presentation file yet, but we'll see. So on the screen, this is the same file you're looking at as mine. This is my desktop version of the RStudio, and I'm looking at the same file with you. Exactly the same file. So I will refer to, as I go along the instructions, I will refer to these line numbers so that you can find the exact line to run throughout the workshop. Okay. All right. So that's the first checking of this workshop and for this session. So what you're looking at, we created a new project out of, by downloading all the files from the GitHub. So anyway, the RStudio, the good feature, the useful feature of using RStudio is to use RStudio project. I always recommend my students to use different projects for different, different RStudio project for different task or the different project per se. If they have homework 1, homework 2, use different project for homework 1 than homework 2. So it contains all the files within that folder, that directory, which contains the project file. Using the RStudio project, you can save your command history, your environment variables, also user created variables, and you can save it and restore them when you open the project later. Also, you just need use RStudio control project for the version control with the version control. So you can effectively use this RStudio project with this Git and GitHub. So I'll just included the link to read more about the RStudio with the Git and GitHub. So let's go to actually run some commands on the RStudio environment. So let me load this, and the line that I'm going to use is the line starting from line 99 on this RStudio editor. Line 99. Go to line 99. Like the seashell. Any questions so far? Let me see the color review. Okay, so the first thing I want to do is to assign values to variables. So let's create a variable from the console. You see on your left lower corner, the pane is called console. That is the command line interface. So on the console, my cursor is blinking, meaning that it's waiting for my input. So I'm going to type the line here, the A. Do the same on this console on your environment. Type A less than minus 16 and enter. Good. And you see on your environment have on the right side, you see the variable name and the value, meaning that you just created a variable named A, and its value is 16, the integer 16. Okay. Notice here, some of you who already know some programming languages, notice this less than minus, operator doesn't look like an assignment operator. You use equal sign for the assignment in the other programming languages, but R has this weird looking assignment operator, which is, it looks like an arrow, right? It looks like an arrow to me. So so in programming world, the computer science world, the source goes to your right, the right side of the operator. Destination goes to the left hand side of the operator. The same as here. So the value 16 is the source, and the name A, character A, is the destination of this value. So it's like you number 16 to A. Oh, is it actual an arrow? Let's find out. Line number 100. So I'm going to create another variable named E, and we'll give the value, integer value 3. But in this time, I'm going to give the opposite direction. Let's see, 3 goes to B. Would this work? If it was a arrow, they should work, right? So let me run it. Yay, it does work. It is an arrow, kind of having the direction of the source and destination. But in your actual programming, you will follow the computer science convention, which is the, what did I say? The source goes to your left-hand side, destination goes to your right-hand side. So we'll keep using this computer science convention, programming convention here. So let's do some more thing. I'm going to run line 101 without typing it in the console. Let me just do this. I'm gonna do, this is my desktop environment. So let me change it. Well, because I'm keep using both of the desktop and the cloud, I'm going to change some font here because it's too small, probably too small, especially on the iPad. So let's see. I'm going to change the appearance, and I'm going to change the editor font size to, for example, 16, and apply. Okay, so it becomes a bigger font here. I'm also going to change the actual user interface font here. So I just changed the font. All right, line 100. Go to line 100, 101. Okay, so this is the 101. So now I have A and B in my environment here on the right side of the screen. So let's run this one without typing it in, directly from editor. How to do that? There's a couple ways. You click on this small window, small icon. Sorry, window, not window, but icon. Click on it, and the first one is run selected lines. Windows and Mac is different. This is the shortcut, the keyboard shortcut. I can try this line. Is the same as pushing the command and return at the same time. So I'm going to run this line, and you just saw this green, and notice this here. That line has brought into the console. So that just ran the command from the editor window directly to the console. You okay with this? Good. So if we added the A variable and B, it should be 19 here, and the new variable was named ADD. Okay, the same thing. Well, in fact, I can run multiple command lines directly to the console. I just highlighted them and do the same thing. I will just use the keyboard shortcut this time. On Mac, I use command and return at the same time. On Windows, you figure it out and let me know what's the keyboard combination is. All right, what is the keyboard combination for Windows? To run these lines, bring direct the editors directly to the console. Can you figure it out? Well, just click on this same icon here, and the first one is the run selected lines. So you should have like something, Control Enter. Yes, Control Enter. Thank you. Is that does that work with the Windows key with the Enter? I don't know. That might work. I don't know. For Windows, I'm not a Windows user. No, I should have. I have my Windows computer in the back, but anyway. So so we have run several arithmetic arithmetic operators here, plus, minus, multiplication, division. Integer division just gives you the integer part of the division. Exponents and the modulus just give you the the remainders of your division. Okay. All right. So far, any questions? Good. All right. Good. So just let's go to the next one. Okay. So I should not click on it. All right. So let me run this whole lines. All right. So that I have the same environment in the desktop version. All right. So, and the important thing here, as I said, R is a programming language. Programming language should have this this sign for the comments. The comments is preceded by a hash sign here. So everything that's following the hash sign will be ignored by the R interpreter. So that comments. And the workspace, I just showed you the workspace is here in the environment pane, environment tab. And sometimes when you do actual R scripting, R programming, sometimes you wanted to use the R, use the variables that you created from the previous, code. So in that case, you use ls to get the list of the variables. Ls function gives you all the variables. Look at this on the console. ls gives you all the variables that you created in the environment. I have 9 variables so far in my environment. Any questions? Okay, so I'm gonna go to the next one. All right, so now it's your turn. So you are going to create a version of the Markdown, which we call the RStudio calls it notebook. I will explain what the notebook is and then what is the difference, what are the differences between the R notebook and the Markdown. But anyway, let's do this together. So you are going to create a new file. new notebook. On your screen, on your RStudio, this time go to the file, same thing. It should be the same as the desktop version. So go to the file menu, click new, just point the new file menu, and the second one is the R notebook. You click on it. It will bring up another text window. It's doing something, it's thinking something. Noticing that you don't have the packages that needed for this notebook. So are you going to install it? Yes, I want to install those packages now. Click on yes to install the packages. And desktop version should give you some warning or error, the same similar thing. So, all right. Thank you, Carl. Thank you. All right. So you don't see anything now, but you will see soon something's happening in the background. So could be anytime soon. Yes, here we go. The jobs app gives you the messages, while the RStudio is installing all the packages that are needed for the notebook, the R Markdown.
A quick question, Dr. Park.
Yes.
So for the desktop version again, I did get a new notebook, but it did not ask me about loading any packages or anything like that. I think it just went ahead with the regular RStudio, whatever was in RStudio desktop version, not with the same materials.
I got it. So probably we'll be asking you when you get to the when you get to the rendering phase. So we'll just so hold on to it. Everyone. So you should look at this new window with this notebook. This three dash lines. This is the header for this R Markdown, and you see. Dan, do you see this icon saying preview?
Let's see. Yes.
Okay, then it's fine. So let's change the title to something that is relevant to this workshop. Let's do something CMC or beginners workshop, something like that. Okay, that's the title of your notebook, and we'll see what this means. And then I'm going to add one more line to the header. And this is author, maybe two. Author, put your name. I'll put my name. Don't put my name on yours. Put your name, and we'll put the date as well here. So it is 11/2/2021. Something like that. So I have 4 lines in the header in the notebook. This is a documentation of the R using RStudio Markdown. So you see from my screen from line 8 through line 21, 20, line 20. It is just an example for you to just see what the R Markdown tags are Markdown look like. The first thing that I will do is to save it or click on preview. Why don't we click on preview and see if that actually render this notebook? Everyone click on the preview. It asks me to save the file. Let's save the file, our workshop. Maybe it's the same CMC-R workshop, and click save. All right, so It just opened up our Markdown tab for me. I don't know if that opened up the Markdown tab for you, Dan.
No.
No. Does it throw any error?
No. In fact, when I opened the when I previewed it, it's not starting with your version of the notebook in the first place.
Okay.
It's just starting with a fresh one from that's basically blank.
Oh, that's blank. All right, that's an option as well. That is an option that is predefined. I use the examples that is predefined in the RStudio. Probably your desktop version has a different option set beforehand. So maybe for you, you can just type 3 lines, 3 dashes. That starts your header, and type title and colon, and do the same thing, and close the header with another 3 dash lines. Okay, and all of you using RStudio Cloud, what do you see on the screen? Preview, does it open another window like me? Did it do that? All right, good. Stephen, thank you. Anyone does not see this pop-up window? Andy, thank you. Anyone having trouble looking at the errors? Let me know now. Stephen, you have any question? You're muted. I don't hear your voice. I can't hear you, Stephen.
How about now?
Now it's okay. Yeah, I can hear you.
What would you call this window that popped up? Like, what are we previewing?
Yes, this is a kind of a browser for RStudio. This is this is exactly same as the browser. It renders all this R Markdown. So what do we call this?
Output? I guess, is this an output of a job, or like if we were running something?
Oh yes. Let me get back to go back to the RStudio here. So when you click on preview, RStudio renders this R Markdown line by line, and it follows all the R Markdown formatting, and it gives you this preview output. So this is the output of the rendering of R Markdown. As you see on here, there is the title, the largest font, and then you see those were in the header, right? My author name, the date, and so on. And the output of this Markdown, which is the notebook, is the HTML. So you can view this in your browser or in the RStudio viewer.
Yeah, so with and without the Markdown, essentially, you're seeing the old HTML code in one view, and you're seeing the rendering of it in the other. Thank you.
Yes, exactly. Yes. All right. So the R Markdown, not only the R Markdown. Any question, Dan?
I think I'm good. I'm gonna try previewing it.
Okay.
Yep, I got it. Great.
Good job. Thank you. All right. So the Markdown itself is pretty standard these days for this all documentation for the programmings. So learn the Markdown you can learn the Markdown right from these RStudio Cloud. Actually, let me see. I wanted to show you these primers. This is the R Markdown. Then as well, if you have time later, create our RStudio Cloud account and see what are the the learning resources that they provide. So I just clicked on these 3 lines for the new menus, the additional menu screen on the left side, I will click the primers, click on primers, and it will open up this simple, quick tutorials that are offered by the RStudio company. So look at the basics, visualization, programming basics, work with data, working with tables. Tables is a data structure, same as a data frame, what is called data frame, same, similar to the Excel files, and things like that. Deploy or go through some of the tutorials after today's workshop. So I tell my students, or some of you, if you are, some of you are parents, you're, child and children, that you will be ready to learn these, learn more from multiple resources. Like one of the resources is this RStudio primers. And then because you get all the setup with the RStudio cloud and everything, so you will be able to learn more. And then come back for the level 2. So that is your homework after today's workshop, until we offer the level 2 workshop. Go through the tutorials here, at least the basics, visualization basic, programming basics. The learning programming is like learning writing, in your real world, right? Practice, practice, practice is the only way to learn new programming languages. So I want you to practice using all the resources that I show you here. All right, so let's, I got back to my environment, RStudio environment here.
Dr. Park?
Yes.
Hi, this is Justin. I have just a quick question
Mhm.
on, I see that there's a lot more text that actually was displayed on the preview of the notebook. Is that determined by the triple quotes here on line 12 to 14?
Exactly. I was going to get there, but thank you for bringing that up. Yeah, that is the beauty of using our Markdown and RStudio presentation, is that you can run R command right from the editor and show the results, not only the code, but also the results on the documentation, like the Markdown result, rendered Markdown, or the rendered presentation. So when you look at this three backticks and the curly bracket with R, that is the start of the code chunk. Code chunk, right? So I mentioned about this term, code chunk, in the beginning. So now you're learning the code chunk. The code chunk is the special block of the code that when this Markdown engine renders this Markdown file, it knows that these are not the text, but the R commands. Okay, so inside this, you see this grayed lines. So that's the code chunk, and this is actual R Markdown. Sorry, R commands to plot cars data sets. So when you preview it, you have this line. You don't have the result here yet. The main difference, the basic difference between the notebook, what you're currently seeing is the notebook and the usual R Markdown, is that whether when render the RStudio Markdown engine renders the R Markdown file, if it was a notebook, it doesn't run the code inside the code chunk. If it was a R Markdown and you render it, it will run all the commands inside the code chunk. Okay? All right, so I'm hungry too. I'm just kidding. All right, so to see the result on the output from the notebook, scan rendering, you have to run this line first. How to run this code chunk? There are a couple ways, 2 ways. You see this green arrow, click on it, and the result of the plot will be shown, after this code chunk. The data set, the cars, the good question is a good question. Cars is a built-in data set that has, so I just, let me just show you a few of the data sets. So it is a data frame with the 2 columns, 2 variables. We call it each column variable. One of the column is the speed, another one is this distance. So it has the speed and I think it's distance for stopping, something like that. So I don't know what the exact cars is this here. I'm showing you a really, really useful operator or the sign, just single question mark and the name of the data set or name of the function, things like that. You type question mark and cars. It will bring up this help window on your right side of the screen of the window. So this is the help document, and the format here, if you look at it, there's a speed, numeric speed, mph, miles per hour, distance, numeric stopping distance. So that's it. So the relationship between the speed and stopping distance is, faster the car, the longer to stop. That's expected, right? This is a good example for scatter plot.
And Dr. Park, if we wanted
Yes.
to add units in, can we change this in some way? Like where, if I wanted speed to show mph or distance and feet, how would we do that? Or is that
we can change all the labels. We can change the how it looks in the plot. We'll get there later when we do some visualization after this, for sure. Thank you. That's a good question. All right. So after I ran the line with the code chunk, if you click on preview, now you will see the result on the preview, because I have run this line here. Okay, so see the difference, whether you run it or not, run the code or not. Okay, so this is an example of our code chunk and our markdown. Now, I don't need all these examples for today's hands-on, so I'm going to, well, probably I will just delete them. I'm going to delete them. And then what you need to do as the hands-on, let's go back to your R presentation file. It was the line 100, what is that? 132 on the R presentation file. Okay, line 132 through line 134. I will just copy these lines over to my R notebook. I'm going to copy, Control C and Control V, Command C, Command V on the notebook. All right, so we'll show you a couple of R Markdown tags here. One more thing, from your RStudio Cloud, the learning resources that you have from the RStudio Cloud. I just clicked on the menu here, and you see the cheat sheets. click on cheat sheets. Some of the links are not working, but try these cheat sheets sometime later when you learn the R coding. So if you scroll down to see the R markdown, the link is not working for me, so it should give you 404. They should update it. But I found the actual link that works now. So I'm going to share that link with you just in case. All right, let me type it in, paste it in. So this is the R Markdown cheat sheet. So on the screen, I'm showing you the cheat sheet, the first page of the sheet, and my right side of the sheet, it has different tags here. That's just £1 is the header 1, £2 signs is the header 2, and so on up to header 6, the smaller and smaller. And this is an unordered list. Let me make it a bigger picture here. I can. It doesn't let me do that, but all right. So here on the right side, it has, you know, some examples of the tags and the code, our markdown code. And right side of it, it has a rendered version, rendered result of that markdown. So unordered list, ordered list, you know, link, image, embedding, and so on. The code, block quotes, and some, you know, equation using LaTeX in the table as well. You look at those you know, cheat sheets and see what you can use from the examples. All right, so I'm going to make this first line 8, exercise 1 as the header 2. Put 2 pound signs. Excuse me. Now we'll just leave the question as is. Now this is your job. You're going to create a variable x containing pi times pi, and another variable y containing a square root of x, and you will show the values as an output. So that's your task. And to do that, you need a code chunk inside the R Markdown, right? So how to do that? You can type in 3 backticks like me. So where's the backtick key? The right below the ESC key. 3 backticks. It's not single quote, it's a backtick. All right, and the curly bracket open and end and put R. Notice the gray line starts. And I'm going to close this code chunk with 3 backticks as well. And you see this code chunk here? You do the same thing on your screen? Good, Stephen, thank you. Done. Show me your hands. Good. Thank you. Kristen, is that you have question or you're done? Good, thank you. All right. So inside the code chunk, now you do your work. X, create a variable X and create a variable Y. X will contain pi times pi. Y will contain the square root of X, which is going back to the original pi, and you show the values as an output. I'll give you about 3 minutes from now to work on it. Figure it out. You can use your Google. Google is your friend, at least for this, and see what you can do. Now, I play this with the music for you as a thinking music. 94 minutes until 4:30. You've learned everything so far, variable assignment, arithmetic operators. Great, thank you, Dan. And showing the output. Good, Andy, thank you. If you have any questions while you are solving this problem, let me know. All right, you have 2 minutes. Show me your thumbs up, you're done. You're done, thumbs up. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Andy. All right. Right, almost the time. Thirty seconds. All right, so let's get back to the workshop instruction. Okay. All right, so the question for you is pi already defined in R? Yes, it is. It is the pi predefined variable. You can just use pi for this pi calculation, right? And is there a function that you can use for a square root? What is it?
Square root, SQRT.
That's right, SQRT. SQRT is a function that is most, usually the case for most of the, programming languages. Good job, thank you. So yeah, so I will create an X, which is the pi times pi or pi squared, and Y, on Y, I will create a SQRT. Notice here, I just type SQ, and the RStudio gives me a couple, candidates for the SQ. They're starting with the SQ. SQRT as a function that is included in the base package. So everyone who's running, basic setup of the RStudio should have this SQRT. You can do at this point, just type, press tab, because this is the tab completion. So press tab here, I'll give you the function, actual whole function of this SQLT. Inside the function SQLT, the input argument is X, right? And then with just this assignment, your environment has the value, but you need to output this value. That is a, one of the tasks you need to do. So show the values. How? I will just call them, or you can use print function too, if it is a text in a given text with the two quotes embedded enclosed into double quotes. So here, if I click on preview, I won't see the result, right? So as I showed you, you have to run this whole chunk to see the result. And on the screen here, the preview again will have the result on the output. Everyone got it? Good job. Good. Thank you. Any trouble? Any question? So far, so good.
Why does it put the one beneath, or what's the one mean? Why is that?
That's a really good question I was looking for. The one bracket is it's kind of an index of the list. So when I did what's that previous one, LS, remember this one? The leftmost elements of this list is the first one in the index. This one is the fifth element. It's like the movie, fifth element. And this one was the ninth element. So in this output, there's only one element in the list. Another output is having only one. So it's just indicating that this one, the right by this bracket number, is the location of the element. Got it? All right. That's the output format. But in the output of the preview, it doesn't have that, right? It's only, oh, it has the two. Sorry, I thought it was suppressed. All right, so you should have that all the time. Okay, that was the first challenge for you. And the second one, also we'll be getting into that second one soon. Let's see. Wow, when I noticed this, when I installed every package that are needed for this R Markdown, it also installed a package for this R presentation. So now you can preview the R presentation if you installed everything that you needed. Dan, were you able to preview yours? You're muted, but I see that you.
Sorry. The results of exercise 1, yes, I was able to see it, but
all right.
not these. Let me take a look. All right. But here we go.
The presentation.
Yeah, it's there. So I can.
All right, it's there. So good.
It is.
All right, good. I will just I'll just quickly go over some general stuff. You can later after this workshop try demo and demo graphics, and see what are the examples. It shows the good examples of the graphics packages, and a question. Right. All right. So the library function, it shows, well, you will use this library function in the console, or as well in the script, your editor, within that editor, to see the available packages, or actually load packages that you need for that session, your RStudio project session. We just did a single question mark to bring up the help documents. And if you don't know the exact name of the variable data set or the exact name of the function, try the search. This is the same, actually, well, without any arguments. It shows the loaded packages, but with any argument, it will search for it. Single question mark and double question mark. These are really useful operators. Try double question mark. Let's just try this double question mark here. I want to find, I don't know the exact name of the function to create a histogram. Then I would just search the histogram, the search word from the console. I notice here is run, and the help window will give you the list of the functions and the packages that has the histogram word in its help document, help pages. So that's how you try to find the packages or the functions that you need. Also use Google. Google has a lot improved providing the right answer for R. I use R, just one single R, and the question. That will give you some examples and discussions about that function or the packages. Okay. All right. So now I kept talking about the packages. What are the packages, by the way? Packages are the user created select the collection of files, R script files, and the data sets that does, each package has the special different feature and functions. And the R is known for this huge collection of user-generated packages like the Python, right? So R packages it's a collection of functions data, and some compiled code in well-defined format. I'm going to install a package in two ways. So you can try typing it in the console. Install .packages function will install this deploy R package in your RStudio environment. Or try this. I'm going to try the packages tab here on the right side of my RStudio window. Click install. It brings up a window. And I'm going to install deploy R package to my session, to my environment. And don't forget to click on install dependencies. Some of the packages have dependencies of, from other packages. So install dependencies for me and click install. It will take a few seconds to collect the information from the package network, and we'll start installing it into your environment. Once you install it, it's the same as running this command. See here, it ran the command for me, even though I just clicked on the packages and install and type the name of the package. So it says installing it. Once it installs, you have to load that package to use it in the environment. So how do you load it? Use library function to load that package, specific package for you. So I'm done installing it. How about you? Is your RStudio environment installed? Deploy R? Good, Alice. Thank you. Good, Dan. Thank you. So after installing the package, I'm going to use the functions that come with the package deploy R. How do I do that? Type library on the screen. As you know, I showed you the RStudio will give you the candidates for library. I just type pushed tab, and I'm going to load deploy R here. So it says attaching package named deploy R. This package is used for our level 2 workshop. So it's kind of a precondition for the level 2. And notice here that the following objects are masked from package stats, and these are also masked from package base, meaning that this stats package had the same name of this function as the deploy R. Now, when I call filter, it is going to call the filter function from deploy R, not from stats package, because it's already masked. All right. So, it gives some information about the packages as well. All right. So that's about the package. So actually, this is the end of the part 1. We spend more time checking the environment, question and answers. So it's taken a little bit more time than I expected. But let's see, the end of the part 1. Let's check. You could run RStudio desktop version, or you could log into RStudio, the server, to create a RStudio project environment, and you create the variables in your hands-on. You check them. You could check them from the environment pane, and you could run some R commands on console or directly from the editor window. You just created a notebook, right? Create a notebook and created the code chunk. And we just installed a new package and load a new package in the environment. How's that sound to you? Have you done everything so far? Good. Thank you. Right. So I have about 15 minutes. I'm going to try getting into the second hands-on as much as possible to cover this session 2. But session 2 has some demo content, so we'll see. Let's use the built-in data sets now from your RStudio window, RStudio editor window. We're going to use CO2 data sets. That is, this data set is included in the base, not the base, the data sets package. And the data sets package is already loaded. By default, it is loaded to your RStudio environment. So it does know that CO2 data set is available. Let's try, instead of using the single question mark, you can also use help. So let's try help of CO2. Do the same thing to bring up this help documents. I always see this help document for new data set, new functions, and so on. It has a good information to look through. And the CO2 data set has 4-5 variables here. Variable names, column names, plant, type, treatment, conc, and uptake. So it is same. Let's display all the contents of the data frame by just calling the the name of the data set, CO2. It has 84 rows, 84 observations, and it's going up, scroll it up to see the beginning of this data set. So it has a plant column, type column, treatment, and count and uptake. So notice here, plant is value, the value of the plant variable is the text. Conc, by the way, it is the numeric vector of ambient carbon dioxide concentration in milliliter per liter. It's just a number, right? And the uptake is also another number. So I want to see what are the summary of this data frame. We call it data frame. Data frame is a kind of a universal name of the structure that contains the columns and rows, like the Excel spreadsheet. So Excel spreadsheet has the column and rows. The columns are the variables, and the rows are the observations. And the column has a header. Header row has the name of each column. The same format. It is called data frame, and I can try summary. Well, this is a another package. Let's get to the data import first, because I have a question.
Hey, Dr. Park.
Yes.
I just have a quick question. Did you add this this description and I guess general documentation about the data frame in here yourself, or was this part of the the package and built-in data set?
In the data frame. So this yeah, the data frame is the name of this data structure. So is your question whether I added that in the description, or
on the help tab? It's where we put like help CO2, like all the information around that I guess data set. Was that already added, or is that something you added yourself? And I kind of just want to know if like you could add it yourself. Is that possible for like a user?
Oh, I see. If you created a package, yes. But it is, the help document was already included in the package. So the CO2, let's see, the package is the dataset package. Inside the datasets package, the help documents was included. All the help documents were included in that already. So in the future, if you create a package, our package, then you will have to include the help documents inside it too. Good question. All right. Okay. So data import. I want to make sure that you can import a CSV file right from the Windows, from the files window. To do that, you will have to install another package, but we'll see. From your files tab on the right lower corner, you see the order.csv file. All right, click on it, left click on it, and you will have two menu entries, one view file, another import data set. Click on import data set, and you will see that import needs a couple of packages. You install these packages now. Click on it. Yes. And then it will take a couple seconds and to collect all the information to install the packages. And then we'll start installing the packages for data import. This package is very useful just to install, just import the CSV file or the Excel files and all the external files to to your RStudio environment. So it installs all the packages that I needed for the data import. I'm installing it, and then it pops up this nice window, data import window. And we'll just see what are the options. The name of the variable after you import it is just following the same name of the file. You can change this name here, okay? And the options you see, the first row as names. So the CSV file, what is the CSV stands for? What does that stand for? CSV?
Comma separated values.
That's right, the comma separated values. So each value is separated by the delimiter, which is the comma in this case. And then the first row was the names of the variable, names of the columns. So I checked the names, so it knows the first rows as the names. It's MPG, cylinders, and so on. And you see the other default options here, delimiters, comma, and so on. And you see the code preview. It will run once you click on import. You're okay with all the options. By the way, skip 0 lines. Some of the data files that contains some description at the top. So if you have that file, then you want to skip those lines. This is the line that you want to skip. And I have this code preview. Everything looks good. So have the name of the columns and so on. So I will just click import. And then it brings up this nice data view, which you see the command to bring up this data view is view function with the big V, the capital V. Okay, so I just imported the auto.csv file as the auto data frame. I told you that there is a data frame, right? So it has columns and rows. Columns is the variable and rows are the observations. How many observations do we have? It has 392 rows. You get to this point? Okay, good. Then that's how you import it. Later, let me see. Let me go back to the presentation file. Well, actually here on the presentation, we're gonna do the second hands-on. I want you to do the second hands-on, at least for today. We'll try to demo some of them, some of the visualization, the plots. So let's do the second one. As usual, as we did for the Excel exercise 1, I'm going to copy these lines over to my R notebook. From my editor is line 18. It might be different for you, but I will just copy and paste those lines to here. And the exercise 1, that line should be the header 2, because which is the double pound signs. You do the same for your own exercise here, hands-on. In this exercise, you're going to create a code chunk again. After these lines, you will add the code chunk. For exercise 1, we added the code chunk by typing 3 backticks and everything manually. There's a easier way to add code chunk. You see this icon here. Is this icon? All right. So click on it, and there's the first one, the R. This is to add the code chunk. It just added the code chunk for you. And inside the code chunk, what you need to do is to these steps. The first one, you are going to now import auto.csv file as auto_data, and you are going to output the first row of the variable you just imported in the code chunk, and then output the last row, using R's built-in function. Remember the slide. If I go back to my slide, the slide is the head or tail. That is a tip, a hint for your function. So let's do that together because we don't have the time. So first one, auto.csv file is going to be imported. How we do that? A quick, easier way to do it. Click on your history. Click on the history tab. And the last rows, a couple rows are the commands that we use for importing these auto.csv file, right? First two rows, library readr, we need that because readr has the read_csv function. I'm going to highlight these two lines, and you see this icon here, to source. Click on it, and it will bring those two lines to the editor. So this is the very useful way to bring whatever the commands you had in the history to the editor into your script, and you do your R programming. Okay, so library R, you load this library package, and then what is the name of the variable here? Auto_data, right? So I just want to change the variable name inside a chunk, and that's it. That's it for the step one. I just imported the auto.csv file. And the first row of, let's run these two lines here. I'm going to run these two lines here. All right, so it has some of the output. So should have on auto_data as well once you run it. The next task you need to do is to show the first row of the auto_data, right? auto_data. And if you run this, it will show multiple lines here. If you do that, it shows you 6 rows. I just need the top one. It has a input argument, which is the number of rows you want to see from the top of the data frame. So I just need to put 1 for the first one. The same thing for the tail. To see the order, same thing here. And we get to the last one. The tail of the auto_data for the first one. So let's run this code chunk. And the output here is the first row, and this is the last row. See this line number, row number 397. Okay, so look at that. Look at these lines. The library, you load readr library package for this function, read_csv, and then you run these two comment functions to output the first element at the top, the last element at the bottom. How's that? Yes.
I didn't have the auto data defined. Oh, because I probably left that out because I'm getting an error. I see. I left out that line. I just called mine auto. Meyer, got it.
Okay. Yeah, you have to have this. You have to define this variable before whenever you call this variable later. Okay, so I ran it, and let's see the preview. Let's see if that's actually that creates the actual output for me. There we go. The first one, second one. There's some more additional lines, but it's okay for now. We will get to there at level 2 just to suppress the whatever the warning signs are there. Okay, so I'm sorry. This is time. We have left a couple things here. Let's see what are the things that we need to do more. Oh, the data exploration, summary, visualization, a couple of the plots. We had 5 more slides, but the time's up. So probably let me talk to Evan and Josh to schedule the second one for that for you. So everything's done for now except those data exploration part. So that was up to the third one. Okay.
Sure.
Right.
Thank you so much. And we can touch base. And the nice part is we'll now have the attendance on everyone who is here today. So depending on your availability and what everyone's next couple of weeks looks like, maybe we'll set up a time and for 45 minutes more, and then we can all get together and finish up today's session. So thank you all so much for being here. This was awesome.
Thank you very much, everyone. I hope it was helpful.